For the first time in German language history, keys made by Firas Al Moneer to dominate the German language. The first key, the sameness of meanings of suffixes that attached to separable verbs and prepositions. For example, if we have the verb probieren or probieren, you can pronounce the two pronunciations. So, after searching for, we find in dictionaries that the meaning of this verb is try, and this is right. This is real meaning. There is no problem until here. But if we continue searching for, we find, for example, aufprobieren. We find in this dictionary, for example, the meaning is try on, like when you wear clothes. Here, when we search in this dictionary, also the meaning try on. Here, there is no meaning, so we write it try on. Anprobieren, try on. Also the same meaning for another word, and this is a problem. In the second dictionary, try to search in all the dictionaries you know, also try on. We write it try on. If we search for ausprobieren, here try out. Durchprobieren, try one after the other. Here there is no translation. Approbieren, license. Here is approve. Herumprobieren, trial and error. Here, guesswork. What we notice now, when you say aufprobieren is try on, the first problem is try on does not reflect the real meaning in details. The second problem is when we translate anprobieren, here we find it the same meaning. So how can I know when I must use aufprobieren in a sentence and when I must use anprobieren in the sentence? If both of them are the same meaning, and this is not only for aufprobieren and anprobieren, this is only an example. This is the common case in translating in German language in these bad famous dictionaries. What does it mean when we listen to German man? The German man, maybe he says ich probiere, then he says the time, the place, the many details. At the end of all these lines, what will he say? We don't know. Will he put aus, so it will be ausprobieren? Or will he put an? We don't know what will he put. And when they teach us that every verb of previous has its own meaning. There is no relation between probieren, ausprobieren, abprobieren, herumprobieren. There is no relation. In the best institutes around the world, they teach these verbs as separated verbs. Like abprobieren, license. What is the relation between license and aufprobieren, try on? They will teach you that there is no relation. When you learn by this way and hear the German people say ich probiere, you will not know what is the meaning. You will wait until he reaches the end of his statement to know if it is aus or an or another suffix. So when he says ich, you will translate very quickly I. But when he says probiere, you will not translate anything because you don't know if there is a suffix. So you will wait until the end of the statement, and when you find it is up, for example, you will go back to the beginning and make connection and now translate. Now you say I license. Now, after what? After you heard all the statements, all the lines without understanding, and now you want to return back. But when you return back, at this time, the German man continues talking. He will not stop for your sake. So, you will not be at your life quick translator. We will take these two verbs, anprobieren and its translation try on, aufprobieren, try on also. We will not accept this silly translation anprobieren. In Duden, you find it in another translation. Duden, as you know, is the most famous dictionary German at the world. The most licensed dictionary. So I rely always on Duden, but also Duden is not enough. I add my own special way to analyze. Anprobieren in Duden, etwas anziehen, zu sehen, ob es passt. It means in English to anziehen, to see whether it is appropriate or not. Why I didn't translate this verb? Because when you search for this verb in Duden, you find many different meanings. So also this translation is not enough, because he talks here, Duden, about anziehen in general meaning. So if I want to translate precisely, I must put this like this, because here there is many meanings for anziehen. But if I want to choose one meaning of the meanings of anziehen, like wearing clothes, okay, we can say then to wear, to see whether it is appropriate or not. So now we will talk only for the meaning of wearing something on. Why I chose this meaning? Because it's very near to the translation in bad dictionaries. Any dictionary except Duden is bad, and Duden also needs some improvements. Why I chose this meaning? Because I will show you, even the meaning is very near, there are many problems. So imagine the case when you have another meanings and far and very far of the meanings in dictionaries. Duden gives you an example: einen Anzug, Kleider, Schuhe, anprobieren. To try a suit, clothes or shoes on. And here I conclude, this is my own research, not from Duden. I conclude here the meaning of facing, because when you put a clothes on your chest, for example, your shirt faces the mirror or the another man who looks at you. Facing. This is from anprobieren, anziehen, Anzug. Notice. Why Why? Because when Duden wants to describe this verb, he needs something because must be described in and here in the example also although it is here name, not a verb, but also so there is a relation, there is secret. This secret, only I who discovered this secret. The secret of is facing. So this is the old translation, we must throw it. Also Duden gives you another meaning for anprobieren. This is also another problem. They make all the meanings in try on only. Some verbs has maybe more than 12 meanings. The second meaning of anprobieren in Duden: veranlassen, dass jemand etwas zur Probe anzieht. To cause someone to put something on to see if it fits. Der Schneider probierte ihm den Anzug an. The tailor arranged for him to try the suit on. The real translation of anprobieren is to wear something on his body or in his feet, and you can say also horizontally, like when you wear a coat, you rub it around you, or on another person, like coat or shoes, to see if it fits. And this is facing. We said always effacing. Effacing existence. Why facing existence? Because is opposite to not existence. It's existence. Like electricity. When the electricity runs, it exists. It's the opposite of the case when electricity is off. So, an means existence and means facing. So, a facing existence. And now we will look if it is right or only imagination. We know when an is a preposition, we say, for example, das Bild hängt an der Wand. So, why we said an der Wand, not in der Wand? Because the picture faces the wall. They are parallel. This is when it is preposition. And I prove that always an has the same meaning, even with separable verbs. The shirt faces us as the picture faces the wall. Also, in another verb like anlaufen, ich werde gegen den Wind anlaufen. I will go against the wind. Why they used an? Because my body faces the wind. Wir sollen gegen Vorurteile anlaufen. We should make steps against prejudices. Why we used an here? Because we faces who has prejudices. Das Schiff läuft den Hafen an. The ship runs to be against the port. Why we use an here? Because the ship will face the port. The jowl swells. The tumor faces us as the picture faces the wall. This is why an. Also, the inflammation runs inside it, in contrast to being atrophied. So this is like the electricity when it runs inside the lighting bulb, in contrast to being off. So it is facing and the on, not off, the existence, I mean. This is an. Also here, sein Gesicht war rot, angelaufen. His face became red. Why an here? Because it faces us. This is the first. Second, the blood runs like electricity to make the face red. The glass of window sweats. Why an here? Because the glass faces us and changes from dry to wet like electricity when changes from off to on. aufprobieren, the wrong translation, try on. In Duden, the real translation, Probeweise, aufsetzen, to put in a vertical way as a trial. This is auf, vertical. Unfacing or horizontally, auf vertically. So, the final meaning of aufprobieren, to wear something vertically on his head or his face to see if it fits. So, when he puts a cap on his head, he put it vertically, not like a coat, horizontally. And when he puts glasses on his nose, he puts it vertically. So not everything try on, anprobieren, try on, aufprobieren, try on. It's not with this simplicity. This is very precise language, very high language. You can't deal with German language with this silly way. You must know the deep meaning. To know when you use aufprobieren and anprobieren. Now you know when you put a cap, when you put a hat on your head, you use aufprobieren. When you put jacket, you use anprobieren. So here, because it's vertically, it's a kind of accumulation. Eine Mütze, eine neue Brille, aufprobieren. Trying a cap or new glasses on. The tourist boat collided with the sandbank and climbed up it. So why we use auf in this sentence? Because the existence of the boat on the beach increases the height of the beach. How does it increase the height? Because before this boat climbs here, for example, a man can walk here and pass. But when this boat climbs here, no man can passes. He must go around this boat to complete his road and go to his home, for example. So the height of the beach now is increased. So it's accumulation. Auf is accumulation. The car collided with the barriers and climbed up it. Also accumulation, because the tire is on the barriers, so it increases the height of barrier. The veins bulged on his temples. So why auf? Because the blood accumulated in the veins, then the veins bulged. This is accumulation. The interests grow up to 150 euros. Why auf here? Accumulation, because the interests accumulated, then grow up. The water floated quickly, so the sheep sank. Why auf? Because the water accumulated, then grow up. With the last step, she got the first group. Why auf? Because the existence of her on the podium is an accumulation. This is not only with anlaufen, with every verb. This accumulation expands the area. So here aufbiegen expands the area between these two pairs. This cat, auf dem Tisch, on the table, it expands the area that relates to the table. Now nobody can put his hand here because there is a cat. For example, the height of the table was 100 centimeter. Now the height with the cat is maybe 120 centimeter. Aufmachen, when you want to open the window. The window has two panes. When it's closed, the two panes are beside each other. But when the window opens, the distance, the area between these two panes will be expanded. This aufmachen, and this is the reason why auf. The same with aufprobieren, as we said, because the glasses on the nose increases the area of the nose, the height. Aufhängen, to hang something on something, because auf, on. Aufkleben, to paste something has a thickness on something. Maybe you say kleben means to paste something on something. But auf, I tell you, why? Because of the thickness. Because if you write something on something without thickness, there will not be expanding the height. But here, expanding the height because of the thickness. So this is auf. Aufschreiben, to write a medication name for the patient to buy from the pharmacy. Why auf? Auf also, when you talk about directions, it means vertically, that you write vertically. It means you don't write on the wall. For example, you write towards the ground. You write on the table, on the book, like this. So when a doctor writes a medication name, will he write it on the wall, or sure he will write it on a paper vertically? Now look at the difference between this new translation and what we found in dictionaries together. This is here horizontally or facing. Here is vertically. There is a difference, not anprobieren tryon and aufprobieren tryon and the matter ended. And this is only if we talk about the meaning of anprobieren, which relates to clothes. But as we said, anprobieren has a lot of meanings, and aufprobieren has many meanings. So the problem is very big. Durchprobieren, they said to try one after the other, but Duden says that the meaning is to try, testing respectively all what is available, or the largest quantity of one cereal category. So here Duden says all, alles, but this is not in the definition, to try one after the other. Yeah, or yes, to try one after the other respectively, but it's not all the translation. The most important is all. Why? Why all? Because durch is through something. When you go through something, you go through each piece of it, each part of it. So durch is the second phase of all. So they must say all, and they must say all this definition. Alle sollten durchprobieren. Trying all sorts or foods. All. There is all. This is very important to let him knows that there is comprehension. So this all very important to know the precise meaning, and at the same time to make relation between the meaning and the verb. Because when you see durch and remember that through something, every part of something, all the part of something, all pieces, so you remember all. So, and try all, so durchprobieren. There is a relation, so you can learn it by heart easily. I try all the sorts. Duden says the meaning of approbieren, to approve or license. This meaning comes mostly with official or governmental. Approbierte Arzt, licensed doctor. But this is good translation from Duden. But Duden did not give you the relation between the meaning and the verb to let you learn by heart easier. So I made this translation instead of Duden, better than Duden. It's not against Duden. No, Duden is the origin, but it makes the matter easier. My translation for approbieren, he tried it, found it qualified, so license it. So he licensed it when? After tried it and found it qualified. So there is relation now. Probieren, tried it. Up, license. This is we throw it, and this is licensed doctor. Herumprobieren. Do we accept guesswork only? This is the translation von Duden. Nacheinander, verschiedenes ausprobieren. To try many trials, one after one. Here you notice ausprobieren. It means herumprobieren includes ausprobieren with complementary. Hat so lange an dem Schloss herumprobiert, bis es auf hatte. He was trying to open the lock for so long until he has opened it. So, when you see the translation of Duden with the example of Duden, you can conclude with another better conclusion. To try rationally. Why rationally? Because ausprobieren. Aus means rational. Several times. Why several times? Herum, you know that when we use it in German language, when we say around the corner. So when makes around, it draws a circle or a part of circle. And her means here. So the complete meaning, he tries and tries in a circle way because he tries many trials. So he returns back to try again, returns back to try again, so on. And here to mention that many trials. He returns back to the beginning, to here. He goes and turns back to here. So this is the relation. He repeats the trials, but at the same subject. But when he say only guesswork, there is no relation with herum. Now, the problem that we talked about at the beginning of this video, how we solved it. The new meanings are these. Anprobieren, to try a thing by facing. This is not only for trying clothes on. This is general for many meanings, but trying by facing. This is trying something above something, like this. Very precise meanings. So now, after you know the previous, when a German man says ich probiere, will you delay knowing the meaning of غبيغة until you hear all the statement, or now you are happy, you are not afraid, you can know the meaning of غبيغة immediately. This is immediately I, this is immediately try, because all of those trying, but here is trying with this way, with the way of on, with the way of facing. Here trying with the way of auf, with the way of above, etc. But all we made a translation with a try to make always a relation. So with this way you can translate immediately I try. But you ask now, if I can say try, here what the job of the suffixes? The job is to describe the manner. I try, but in the way of an. I try, but in the way of auf. So immediately I translate I try. When I reach here, I know if I try it vertically or I try it horizontally. If I try it, then license. If I try it, then repeat the trial. If I try it like this. So here I know only the details. I know only the manner. So now, for the first time in the world in teaching German language, we change the mechanism of understanding for the learner. Now the learner can understand the German speaker exactly as a native German speaker. So there's 2 points. You must understand with the German way of understanding to be real German man. But it doesn't mean that you must translate that to another people with the same way that you understand. For example, you understand I try, and when you reach here and find up, you add the complementary to the translation and it will be I tried and found it qualified, so I license. So this is how you must understand it, like the native German speaker. But then you can translate it like this for the English people who don't know German language and are not interested in learning this language, but they want to know the translation simply. So you can translate in this way, or you can say I license, but you must understand it with this German way. At the end of this video, you can find us at Facebook in this name Firas or Firas Al Moneer, like the beginning of the video, or you find the link of the course that you can buy to learn more and more of the secrets of this language. You can find the link under this video if you watch this video on YouTube. If you don't watch this video on YouTube, then you watch it inside the course itself, that you can buy it. And when more people buy this course, the more videos that will I make about the keys of dominating this beautiful German language. Good luck.